some sand dollars. Why are people looking like I'm the one who's crazy? I'm just out here chasing my dream. I'm picking through the tide pools, playing by my own rules. Don't know what you call it, nothing in my wallet except some sand dollars. Ooh, I'm rich. Ooh, I'm loaded. Ooh, I've got all I need. Ooh, I'm stacked. Ooh, I'm wealthy. Ooh, living off the sea. Everybody's telling me that I'm a little cuckoo, maybe, but I go with the flow. It's not for everyone, but I'm just having fun. Don't know what you call it, nothing in my wallet except some sand dollars. Ooh, I'm rich. Ooh, I'm loaded. Ooh, I've got all I need. Ooh, I'm stacked. Ooh, I'm wealthy. Ooh, living off the sea.
Streaming through a hole in time and space, ready to poke some felt with some needles. It's Shmuppy! Oh, let's get some mellow background music going really quick. Let me adjust the microphone down a little bit, and let's... There we go. Nice. So how are we all doing today? Hopefully I don't have to miss the entire stream. I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well, Fish Dragon. Is that Jerry? Yes, this is our Jerry, everyone. Welcome. It's that fish from that game. Hello to Fish Dragon, who may have to go for a bit, but no problem. I hope you get to come back. Night of Despair Gaming. Welcome to chat, and Mini Honduras, and anybody else who is camping out and hanging around here. Welcome. Lurkers are welcome. I should know. I'm a bit of a lurker myself. Okay, so here's our Jerry. Here's our Jerry the Hoverfish, which I've put a bunch of spots on. We are not going to be able to do all 91 spots of the actual, like, image-accurate Subnautica Hoverfish, but we're doing pretty well, I think. It's a bit off-center. Let's see, if you look at it this way, you can see some of the dots that were meant to be equivalent to each other are totally not symmetrical. But he's unique. He's our unique little Jerry. Look at him. Look at that face. How can you hate him? How can you hate him? And look at that. He kind of looks good if you put him at... This is his good angle. This is his good angle, everybody. This is his good angle where his spots are filled in. Isn't he cute? We also have one little hash brown shaped foot done. He's special in a good way. He's our special little boy. He's our beautiful little Jerry. Alright, everybody. I hope you've had a better day than me. I'm gonna add a few more spots and then maybe make a foot? Maybe make a foot or two? I hope you've had a better day than me because first thing at the top of my mind is my gerbil spot! And there was blood! And it was messy and it must have happened when I was out taking one of my cats to a routine veterinary visit. And I just looked over as I was, like, I had put dinner on to reheat, I was sitting down at my office desk and everything, and I see my normally white gerbil has a bunch of blood on him. I was terrified. And I've separated them for now. It appears that the black and white gerbil actually is the one who's more beat up. I don't know who was the aggressor. I don't know what their dynamic is or who's got an issue with who. But my gerbils fought, and I am really worried for them. I may have to house them separately from here on out. I hope that's not the case. I really hope they can make up after I put them in their bonding situation. I don't know what's happening. We're talking about my gerbils. We're talking about my gerbils. Hello, Honduras. Gerbils. The little creatures. Where are gerbils from again? They're from Mongolia. The Mongolian gerbil. Also, other problems we are having, though not nearly as big of a problem, because this yellow base that I have is not as substantial as it could have been. Some of these spots are kind of puckering inward, but some of the more solid spots, like this one, are doing okay. Let's see, let's tuck more blue fluff into it. Let me turn the light on really quick. There we go, that's a big help. That's good for this project. I think I'm gonna go ahead and trim that. There we go. It's the Mongolian death gerbil, that's right. They live in the sand of the Gobi Desert and emerge to attack people at night. There was once a myth about the Gobi Desert. Hello, Jade the Bean. Welcome. I'm worried about my gerbils. How are you doing today? You've had also Night of Despair Gaming. You had quite the busy day. What have you been up to today that's so busy? I had a busy day taking my cat to the vet and then coming home and realizing a little disaster had happened. Sorry if I sound a bit self-centered, but I'm really, really focused, really, really worried about my gerbils. And also what this means for them long term. I don't want my gerbils to be lonely. You're recently promoted to the role of administrator for a Limbus fan dub. What is that? Oh yeah, Limbus Enterprise. Isn't that what it's called? Managing a lot of voice actors, writers, editors, and other things. That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility. Let me put... Yes, Limbus Enterprise. Where am I gonna put my next spot? That almost looks kind of symmetrical with this crowd of spots. Maybe I should put one here. Very fun community, very, very fun community, and I'm glad to have my position. I'm glad for you! I've never been involved in something like that. That sounds really fun. I've never been part of a big online project. I'd like to be part of one. I'd like to be part of, like, a musical project or someone doing something. 5.7k subs on YouTube already. Congratulations! I'm so proud. I'm so proud of everyone in my community going on to do big things. Like Mons10 has his own community that he's building up and also edits for a pretty big... he's an experienced editor. He is a more experienced content creator than me, Mons10. And also he edits for a bigger channel? A much bigger channel. Who I think may have just busted into the Limbus Company big leagues. Ooh, in terms of YouTube content creators. We'll see. He was also... Let's see, I don't wanna reveal all of my secrets, but I feel like my community... You don't want a lot for Christmas airs. One thing I can eat. You can eat it. You can eat it hard. You gave it a good old roundhouse kick. You can eat it hard. Let's see. What was I even saying? But I'm glad to be a place where creative people hang out. I think that's really nice. It's a really nice feeling. I've attracted the right people, it seems. You all are my kind of people. Does that make sense? Alright, let's... Needle. So other than the gerbil thing, my day has been pretty okay. It's puckering in a bit, but that's okay. The cat wasn't even that bad at the vet. I took my black and white cat, my Mr. Man in Black. My guy who looks like a little guy in a suit. And we had a nice little trip, and he was well behaved at the vet. Apparently we're planning a Christmas karaoke event right now. That sounds really fun. Let's put you in here. What's the Christmas karaoke event gonna be like? But I had a nice little trip with my kitty cat, and he wasn't even badly behaved. He hissed a little, but he just sidled up next to me, and I was his little safe space. And he was very cute. He was very well behaved. He even put himself back in the carrier. He was like, I'm ready to go home now, and put himself put himself in the carrier for me. I just had to put the lid back on it, and he slinked on in.
Seen our good times, but it must be said, it didn't quite work out how it looked in our heads, but the times that were.
Sorry, focusing on putting the fluff in the blue hole. There we go. That has a good dot shape.
I'll try my best not to break down and cry, 'cause you're a lifelong friend. But I'll see you round the bend.
Ooh, the music. I should swap the music. Shuffle. There we go. Let's just put on a mix. Let's just put on a Louis Zong mix. This is from his album Big Stepper. Alright, let's give it a squish. I think giving it a massage, giving the hoverfish a massage helps the spots come out. It helps the spots come out. Trust me, it works like that. We've already got 2 kind of popular Project Moon creators working with us too, so that's awesome. That's fantastic. That will be a boon to your growth. Where do I want to put my next one? I guess here and here. Let's get more blue fluff. That'll last us a good while. What else has been going on in my life? I watched an episode of an anime called This Monster Wants to Eat Me, about a girl who's kind of, you know, passively does not want to be living her life anymore because her family all died in a horrific accident. But there is a monster lady who is obsessed with her and says that she is the most, like, you are the most yummy smelling thing I have ever smelled, and I'm gonna fight every other yokai who comes near you to try and devour you because I want you to be delicious, or something like that. And it's a pretense for kind of like power dynamic Yuri kind of thing going on. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I'll bite for another few episodes. Also, the premise is still unfolding where I am in the series. Otherwise, I watched the latest episode of Nosha, or Gunosia. Am I supposed to pronounce the silent G in it? It's Gunosia, but it should be Nosha, I feel. So I watched the most recent episode where Yuri, the main character in it, wakes up in a time loop. You know, that's part of the main premise of the show. But also suddenly wakes up and is like, why do I have 2 lady boobers? So Yuri now has to explore how some of the characters on the ship where the time loop is happening treat him differently in the circumstance. And he has a meeting with the non-binary person on the ship, and the non-binary person on the ship, who is also super logical, is like, well, you're getting awful caught up in this, aren't you? What does it really matter? And I think by the end of it, Yuri stops trying to play a feminine role and just plays the role of Yuri this time. So I think it was an interesting angle. Maybe Maybe I'm seeing substance where there ain't none. Maybe I'm seeing substance where there ain't none. But this show about a time loop and a werewolf game where basically there are imposters among us and we don't know where they are or who they are, is trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep this premise fresh with what can happen in the time loop. I'm not doing well. Sorry for the late reply. I'm sorry to hear that, Jade the Bean. I hope that we can provide some levity with this little Jerry here. Look at him. Smooch. Smooch from a hoverfish. I hope that helps you feel better. I know it's juvenile, but I can't really offer much right now over cyberspace. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. I just felt my hands. I'm trying to do a heart. Can you tell I'm trying to do a heart? There we go. I felt my knuckles crunching. I felt them going snap, crackle, pop. Nah, it's fine. It'll pass. Okay. What else is going on? Oh yeah. When I got back from the veterinarian's office, my gray cat, my little gray man, did not like the fact that Mr. Man in Black smelled like the vet's office. And he was mostly friendly, especially after we had treat time, which is when I give my cat his meds. And everybody gets a little treat. But even then, he would be like, oh, love, love, love. The gray cat would be like, oh, love, love, love. And then would turn to the black and white kitty and would touch noses, be like, sniff, 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 sniff. And then would hiss point blank in his face. Like, God, man, why can't you just be chill? Why can't you just be chill, kitty cat? Well, that spot came out connected to that one. That's okay, I guess. Let's do some more along the sides here. So Nocia, the game that the anime is based on, I watched a video about it, and apparently it works a lot like a visual novel, but has really in-depth, like, situational coding, like, for how characters will react to certain strategies and certain things happening around them, and it seems really interesting. I'm amazed that, let me see, I'm pretty sure an English official release exists for it, right? Let me double check. Nocia. I guess it is the English release. By Petit Depoto. But yeah, it's amazing. Every time I see a mostly like text-based game get a translation, I think it's really interesting and it makes me want to play the game, because it's like there's so much effort that's been put into it. There's so much effort that's been put into it. I am not good enough at Japanese to participate in any kind of translating like that. It has been over a decade since I took a Japanese class, I realized. It has been over 10 Earth years since I took a formal Japanese class, and man am I rusty. I showed up in a poor Japanese streamer's chat one time just because I wanted to try and chat with them and see if I could communicate. I was a terror. I was a menace. I was a distraction. I am sorry, Diu Dishu, but that is where I was. That is where I was one Saturday when I was really bored and was like, ooh, who is this streamer? Um... I also sometimes try to go to events where I get to speak Japanese, like cultural events, but usually I end up saying at least one childish thing or weird thing that draws odd looks. And I don't blame them. I am, even in English, I am incorrigibly weird. I cannot be persuaded not to be a weirdo. Let's see, should I make this spot bigger? I think so, but I will bring it over to the side a little bit. There we go. We're expanding the spot, I think. Okay. The spot is almost out of control, but I think I've got it. What else is going on lately? I've been working on a lobotomy corporation tabletop D20 system, which is meant to be a board game system, and the deeper I am in the project, the dumber of a project I think it is. Have you ever been deep in a project and just the deeper you get into the project, the worse you think it is? Not necessarily in quality, but just overall shaky premise. Where, like, I had to completely... Because I was like, ooh, I'll make it a D20 system because that's something all of my D&D players have. Like, I had to completely rescale the way that, like, Enkephalin collection from different tiers, different risk levels of entities goes in order to fit with the D100s, and it just has produced an entirely different economy in the game. I'm ready to run another test of it because I refined the map a bit, but still, like, I don't know. I don't know that it's my finest work. I don't know that it captures the lobotomy corporation essence. It doesn't even have force suppressions or anything. This lobotomizes my corporation. Feeling my corporation's feeling real lobotomized right now. Feel like I've had an ice pick through my orbital socket. Ah, I forgot I was in a live stream. Welcome back. Welcome back to the world of the living, Mini Honduras. Let's see. Let's put some spots on this side. Make this a spot. Man, the body's so soft. It's collapsing so much. I should have made it tougher. I should have made a tougher base and then put the yellow over it. It's puckering so much. These needles are much more resilient than the cheapo, like, beginner's set ones that I had before. Knock on wood. I say that and then I'm probably gonna break one. But overall, they seem to be pretty good. They seem to be pretty alright. Or maybe my technique is better and I'm not twisting the needles as much. Let's massage. Massage the Jerry. Massage the Jerry. Give the Jerry a massage. Give the Jerry a massage. Here we go. Crack, 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 crack. I wish somebody would do that to me. Just completely, like, bubble wrap, snap my spine. Only have a sip of water. And delicious water. Okay, how many more spots do I want to make? I want to make a few more. Let me roll up some felt. Okay. Do we need many more spots? What do you think? Do you think he looks symmetrical? 1, 2, 3. I don't know. We might be at maximum spots. I don't know. I'll let chat deliberate on that for a minute. What do we think? More spots? More spots, or do you think this is enough spots for a hoverfish? We've got one little hash brown of a foot. I feel like switching up to make. I feel like switching to make feet. I feel like making some feet. I don't want to make this stream too short, but I do want to switch it up. Poke, 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 poke. No, that's some solid felt. Now that's some solid felt. Alright. Whether that's enough spots or not, I'm going to go ahead and start felting another foot. Must return to handling the Enterprise. Goodbye, goodbye! Peace and Glub, Night of Despair Gaming. I hope you have a good time managing the Enterprise. Alright. Let's see if we can turn this into a foot. Okay. Here we go. We want to use the 7x stabber. I don't remember how I made this thing, or how I made it flat, but we're gonna try. Maybe I should get the foam. Alright. Here we go. The 7x stabber is good. The 7x stabber will save us time. I can stab really deep because I have the foam. I can really release my violence. The violence inside. Rah! Alright. Let's try and fold you in a little bit. You know, I have never played through The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And it was recently suggested to me, Shmuppy, why don't you do an Ocarina of Time playthrough? Shmuppy ego corrosion. It would have something to do with needles, wouldn't it? It would have something to do with needles. What's the one? Hexnail. Hexnail. Hexnail? There's a Rhodia Hexnail, right? There's a Rhodia Hexnail, right? Shmuppy ego corrosion. Yeah, Hexnail Rhodia. I love the design of Hexnail Rhodia. I guess that would be the ego I have equipped. Faust and someone else, Rhodia. Rhodia has it. Rhodia is the number 2 Hex Snail haver. Hecksnail. Heck snail. Alright, how do their sizes compare? We need to keep compressing. Maybe I should switch to a coarse nail out of this set. Or I can use the coarse nail that I have in the wood thing. The Peace and Glub ego. It would have to be a rupture slash sinking thing in honor of my nonsense rupture slash sinking team. Seven needles. Maybe. Here we go. I think when I made my concept ego, it was Tremor with SP effects. Oh yeah? I forget, was that the draft that you shared in the Discord? I don't remember if it was a full version with the effects statted out. We're making a little foot, everybody. I am going to trim this part off. Yes, it was, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, I see. Shows my goldfish memory. I swear, my stream persona should be like a goldfish or a goldfish in a bowl instead of me, Shmuppy the Alien. Me, Shmuppy the Alien, I'm gonna get a VTuber Sona. And that VTuber Sona is gonna be a goldfish. I should put my little finger gloves on. Finger gloves. Okay, here we go. My fingers feel much safer now. So, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I've watched many people. I'm still working on the whole Olympus AU. It's slow, plus I need more sinners. I'm excited to hear about it next time you have an update. But Ocarina of Time, I've backseat watched people play it many times. Hoverfishing time, that's right. We have the Jerry. We have the Jerry. Go Shmuppy, hoverfish all over the place. Yes. You missed us having a massage session and chiropractic session. Alright, trying to felt in these edges on this foot. Welcome to chat, Mons10. What was I even saying? Ocarina of Time. I can't finish a sentence about it. Zeldas I have finished Spirit Tracks and Twilight Princess. But I have not played or finished Ocarina of Time, so revoke my gaming license right now. Turns out I've only had a gaming learner's permit the entire time. And I've been driving on that. But I do have a real-life ocarina. I do have a real-life ocarina, as in, like, the instrument. I have a couple of them. Let's keep working on this. It's like red with a coyote on it. It's probably just like it's probably just a kitsch thing. I don't know. Oh, you got a license for that? I do not have a telly license or a gaming license, sir. Actually, no, I don't have a television. I don't have a television. I just use my computer. I heard that's how you're supposed to answer, that you don't have a television. Apparently Japan has that too, with the NHK. An annoying telly licensing guy. Ooh. Tucking that in. Are they the same size? I need to flatten this one more. Let's see if doing it on the hard surface helps. Are you okay, Needles? That felt forceful. Are you doing okay, my Needles? My Needles! Alright, we're stamping. We're stamping. I feel so blessed to have cats that don't really put up much of a fight at the veterinarian's office. They don't really make much of a fuss, any of them. And I'm really glad. Like, maybe a little bit of hiss hiss, I don't know you! But nothing really bad, no blood ever gets drawn. Speaking of blood being drawn, checking in on the gerbils. They are separated now. The young one, the young gerbil, who is white, was running on the wheel and seemed fine, but the older one is, like, bundled up on himself outside of the burrow in a corner of the cage. I'm really concerned about him, because he had some bites, like, on his stomach. He seems to be having trouble sleeping. He's probably in pain. I really want to take him to get him checked out. Are you about the same now? We're about there. I'll probably have to make one slightly bigger if I want it to oppose this one, unless I decide to tuck it in a little more. Whoa, no! I flicked Jerry! Now Jerry's belly up. Boop. See, it feels like it's toughening up a bit. Guess what? Guess what? Chicken butt? What, Finley? What's up, Finley 11? What's the up? Saturday you got a 5-month-old gray tabby kitten. I love a gray cat. That's great. And he's so small. That's great. I have a little gray man myself. And he lays in your lap. That's fantastic. That's absolutely wonderful, heartwarming news. I'm happy for you, Finley. I'm happy for you, Finley. But I also did gamble my life savings away, but on poker. Where are you, what? You used my son's cancer money. How dramatic. You used my son's cancer money. Money that he received for having cancer? Like in a benefit kind of way? Like as a charity kind of thing? Or the money meant to hey, wait a minute. Your son's cancer gave you money? It is funny. Okay. On a subject of things, I was a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid with the GoFundMe to save him. Damn, cold-hearted. How the hell do I make my son with cancer pay up? Today on Schmuppy Stream, how do I make my child who's dying of cancer pay up? How to monetize my child's death. He died, but as long as I can gamble, then it's fun. My god, Finley. Good word. Egads. Getting a little too real. At least it's not cannibalism. Hey, we gotta set our standards low so that they're constantly surpassed. At least it's not cannibalism. Because that would be absolutely unforgivable. Now they're about the same size. Now the feet are about the same size. There we go. We should make another foot. Oops, so much fluff. Let me put the needle down for a second. I'm a danger. I'm a danger to myself real quick. Right now. Real quick right now? What am I saying? Man, today has left my brain fried. Okay, folding this ball in on itself. Here we go. Let's try and force this into a puck shape. Cancer is bad or whatever. Oh my goodness. What was I saying? I was, how do I put this? I was a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid, but only in, like, one of the weakest ways. Like, it's like calling somebody who lost their pinky an amputee. Like, okay. Okay. I guess. But I did benefit from the Make-A-Wish Foundation in terms of receiving specific, gifts for, I think, Christmas one year. When I wouldn't have been able to really have them otherwise. And I still have those presents. They're art books, they're like manga art books that I hold very precious and very dear in my heart. But they are stamped on the inside, gifted to blah 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 by... Gifted to Schmuppy the Alien by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Bet you weren't expecting a little bit of lore like that. Or like my friend's dad who was all like Marine Corps stuff even though he served like 3 years. Make a Space Wish. Yes, the Make a Space Wish Foundation. Make a Spish. The Make a Spish Foundation. That's a contraction of Space and Wish. The Make a Spish. Another thing that I regret, so there was a time when somebody I was in classes with were... What was I saying? Sorry, I just saw a message from somebody and got, like, goldfish brain flashbanged. What was I saying? Make a galaxy. Now all I can think about is my friend who was just saying that they'd had to swerve to avoid getting hit by a car. I hope that friend's okay. I should check that whole message. Let me check in on this person. You know, let's check in on people. Oh. Had been... Oh, this world. Here we go. That was like an SCP amnesiac in action, yes. Fish Dragon, welcome back! Shmubby, what would you do if one of those Just Stop Oil people started blocking my car turn around? That's what I would do. I would not bow anyone over or drive over anyone for protesting. I would love if there was good public transit that I could use to get to a meaningful job and pay my bills, but unfortunately everything in Pupuria is already constructed in such a way where everything's so far away. It's like you'd have to fundamentally, systemically change the architecture of... What if they kept blocking you? Well, I would fly away because I'm in a UFO. That's what I would do. I would fly. I would go up. I would go up, Finley. I would go up. There we go. And actually, it's not a UFO if I'm driving it and know what it is. It is an identified flying object, an IFO. Start drilling for oil on the roads. What if they started flying as they install acts and was blocking? Well, what if the sun was a turtle then? Well, what if the sun was a turtle then and the stars were pasta? I don't know, man. At that point, I would be being pursued. I would be being pursued. They've got something personal out for me. I guess my life's a video game at that point then. Do they make star-shaped pasta? They must. For like, for the kids. For the soup. For the kids, for the soup. There's gotta be the star-shaped pasta. Let me look that up really quick. Star-shaped pasta! It's very hard to type with these things on. Berea pastina pasta. Colavita stars. La Moderna pasta stars. There's all kinds of pasta stars. Yes. What do you even use these for? What do you even use these pastina... Let me look up a pastina recipe. Pastina recipe. What do you use pastina in? Buttery, cheesy, silky pastina. it appears to just be... Even this one is the star-shaped pastina. You put it in broth with Parmesan cheese and butter. Okay, interesting. Star-shaped pastina. Interesting. Do you guys know why? Have you ever looked up like a cooking blog or a recipe or something and noticed that like the entire thing is an incredibly long, wistful story about their grandmother's dog who they had so much fun playing with as a child, and this recipe will always bring back memories of that? The practical reason for that, I think, is that by creating a transformative work and telling a story with it, and then tacking a recipe to the end of it, it provides a more solid way to copyright and earn credit for your work, your photography, your everything you're doing, instead of just publishing a straight recipe. Which, if I want a straight recipe, I go directly to like the Food Network and look at Alton Brown, his recipes, which like I watched what is it? No, I have not. Why would you think I would, mortal? I don't know. Someday you're gonna have to cook something, my dude. Someday you might have to cook something. But Alton Brown's Good Eats was something I watched a lot when I was younger, because, you know, and I once had a teacher be very surprised, like, why were you watching Good Eats? That's a show for like adults. And I was like, but they had like sock puppets and stuff, and it was entertaining, and they explained like yeast and proteins and all kinds of other stuff that was interesting to my young schmuppy brain. But seriously, Good Eats with Alton Brown. And then there was a period of time where it's like Alton Brown had a midlife crisis or something, and then he went on a like travel food show on a motorcycle across America, and I don't really remember much from that phase. How about I give this stuff a stab? I hope Alton Brown never hears that. The thing about it being his midlife crisis. Whoa, that's a lot of spots. Yes, the spots have multiplied! Hello, Madam Bleh. Welcome to chat. By the grace of the heavens, I shall consume 4 cheese pizzas from Papa John's in one sitting, a feat worthy of song. And then we remember how he ate the 4 Papa John's, the 4 Papa John's, then he died. That's why we call it a Papa John's. You know, the guy who did the original marathon, for which the act of doing a marathon is named, died after running his marathon. Now we have, like, people running them for fun? What's up with that? Trying to make a little puck of yellow. Had a sip of water at the same time. Okay, now we can tuck in the edges. Man, my throat feels really, really rough. Sound the pizza horns! For we have another one who has fulfilled the prophecy. How many fulfilled the prophecy now? How many can fulfill the prophecy? It's... Wait, I'm gonna roll virtual dice. Three people have eaten 4 Papa Johns. So, you know, a Guinness World Record that I often thought about as a kid was the world record for, like, the number of Ferrero Rocher ball, like, candies eaten in 1 minute. And I always thought, whatever the record was, I'm sure I could beat that. Like, naively as a kid. I actually don't think I could eat. I think the record at the time was like 5 or something. I don't think I could eat. Yeah, the chocolate Ferrero Rocher with a little hazelnut in the middle. There is a Guinness World Record for eating the most of them in a minute. And I used to think as a kid, like, oh man, I can eat more than them. If only I could get my hands on that many of them in one sitting. I never did try it, because I have self-control. But it always lingers at the back of my mind. Also, hello Sinclair, welcome to chat. We are currently tucking in the edge of a foot. Looking pretty good. It's looking like a good little foot. It's looking like a good little foot. Looks more equal to this one. Let's see. How does that look? We're about halfway done with the feet. Do I want to switch to putting some of the highlights in the spots? Maybe. As quickly as I appeared, I must go for a bit. Sag, I'll BRB if I can. No worries, Sinclair. This is probably going to be just about a 1-hour stream because I don't have much going on and I need to check on my gerbils. My poor one little guy is cuddled up in a like corner. Let me clean up.
Is cardboard. CPU. GPU. Fuck. I feel so bad for you. My name is Sven and I'm a computer man. Doing calculations as fast as I can. Clickety clickety clack, that's your failing drive. I'm picking up slack while your brain gets fried. Supercalifragilistic expialidocious. Popping in to say that you're short a few bits. Short circuiting.
You know what, guys?
Freezing.
I'm just feeling kind of down today. I think I'm gonna call the stream there. I'm sorry to call it short, everybody, but you know, my gerbils fought. I want to check on them. I'm just obsessed with the little guys. I worry about them. Oh, one of them's actually grooming himself. I hope he's okay. Nobody's been, like, disemboweled or anything, but it's just, I've heard so many stories. I've heard so many stories about them fighting to the death. Gerbils. I just don't want to risk it. So everyone, sorry this has been such a short stream. No matter where you are, in space and time, I wish you peace and glub. Thank you for tuning in, everyone past, present, and future. Bye-bye now.